There's some Tony Robbins for you this morning to start your Monday morning, February 16th. So much stuff in there. I hope you, one, were taking in, but two, as a reminder, hope you're going to apply in your life because these are all things. Remember, success leaves clues. So if you're heading down this path of success, these are some things you got to pick up along the way. Most of this stuff is mindset stuff, it's how we think about it. But there's a lot of reminders in there. You just heard Tony Robbins talk about becoming more valuable to the marketplace, becoming more valuable to society. When you live a life of fulfillment, it's because you become more valuable to people. It's less about the I, it's more about the you, right? What can you do? How can I help you get to where you want to go? That's that push motivation versus pull motivation. We do a lot of the pushing. Oh, I can make it happen. I'm going to do it. The motivation, the inspiration that we get. I'm going to make this happen. Right? You got the willpower, but we all know that willpower runs out when life slaps you around a little bit, when you're losing energy, when you haven't been able to fuel yourself and refuel yourself. You know what happens, right? You start to lose some of that. You start to lose some of that push motivation. So we got to start to transfer to the pull motivation. What's bigger than you? What's outside of you that's pulling you to become the best version of yourself? That's pulling you to become great. That's pulling you to work on your health, your finances, your spiritual life, right? What's pulling you? Because that's going to keep you going in the hard times. We all have a little bit of the push motivation, the willpower, but he talked about making sure you have some of that pull motivation. Hey, some of the things that I wrote down just as reminders. Winter is coming. Winter is coming. We're technically in winter, right, as a season up here. But for real, your winter is coming, whatever that is. I heard a right preacher used to always say, right, you're either what going into a storm, in a storm, or just coming out of a storm, right? That's kind of how life works. It's like I'm just about to go into it. I see the season up ahead is going to be full of storms, full of rockiness, full of life throwing all these things at me. I'm already currently in the middle of a storm. Some of you dealing with health challenges or financial challenges or, relationship challenges or whatever, like you're currently in a storm or you just got out of a season of a storm, right? Like you just got through a storm and you just on your way out. Regardless, winter is coming, right? Regardless of where you are in this process, whether you just got through it, whether you're about to go in it, whether you're in it right now, you got to remember that tough times are going to come, but we don't wish them away. We don't wish away the tough times. Why? Because we know that they create the character in you that you need to go get to the life that you want. We know that by going through the adversities, by going through the winter seasons, by going through the storms, we are growing the capacity to handle the life that we're asking for. That's why we don't wish away the winters. We don't wish away the seasons. We embrace them. We know that this is our time to grow. This is our time to become better. When life gets really rough for you, man, you should be thanking God that He's sending this to you so you can learn and grow. But you got to know winter's coming. That old saying, you got to stay ready, right? So you don't have to get ready. You got to stay ready so you don't have to get ready. People always have to get ready. And that's why life smacks you around. It gets you to a place where you just weren't ready. You were caught off guard. You didn't know, but again, you heard Tony Robbins say it, something I've been telling you, we're all going to experience extreme stress. I don't know your specific situation currently right now, but we're all going to live the same human experience. We're all going to experience similar things. Loss of people, deaths in families, health challenges, financial challenges, extreme stress inside of ourselves, right? Depression and anxiety in our thoughts. We're all going to, find again, houses burning down, quitting of jobs, firing of right employment. We're all going to experience the exact same things. The question is, how are you handling the stress? How do you handle it? I may be able to handle it a lot differently than you, but how are you handling that stress? How have you built yourself up and practiced and stayed ready so that you didn't have to get ready when life throws you the next haymaker? When someone in your family dies and you're like, I just couldn't see it coming. Is it because you're not ready? Is it because you willingly didn't want to see it coming? You know, we talk about this in the money space. People don't see what's up ahead. They willingly don't want to see what's up ahead. You willingly don't want to see what retirement looks like because you know you're not going to get there. People know they're not going to get there. So they willingly choose to not plan for it, not focus on it, not get ready until it's too late. This can't be you, ladies and gentlemen. This can't be us. If you want to go off and design your ideal life, these are things you're going to have to get through. You're going to have to constantly be getting ready. These morning mindset calls are you constantly getting ready. The more that you stay on that journey, the more you are building that muscle inside of you so that you don't have to get ready when you go through this next storm, when this next winter comes. You don't have to get ready. You can always stay ready. Tony Robbins said some things happen as you keep going, as you push through the tough times. He says, one, you find out how strong you really are. You find out your true strength until your back is against the wall, until you go through the winter seasons, until you keep fighting and persevering through it. You don't know how strong you are. You don't know what you're capable of. You don't know. If you wish it away, if you lay down when every time it gets it gets really hard, you actually don't know what you're capable of. So you got to push through to know what you're capable of. You got to know who your true friends are, not just friends, your support system. You know, when you start going down, when you start sinking, right? Mentally, emotionally, spiritually, you know that feeling when you start sinking and you don't know who's around. It's like, I got no one to call. No one's because you need to figure out who those people are. You haven't done the work yet to get in that place to know who are my real friends, who are the people that I can really count on. When the ship is sinking, who do I call that helps me get a different perspective, that helps me lift myself up a bit? Do I have people around me? Sometimes we wait all the way until the ship has sunk, and then we're looking around underwater like, who's here to help me? If you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. I know who I can reach out to when I go through that storm, when I go through that winter time. I know it. I have my circle. I know how that process is going to work. Do you? Or is this another area where you're going to get caught off guard when life hits you and then you're like, man, I don't have anywhere or anybody to turn to. So by continuing to push through, you start to realize who your support systems are. Who really can you count on? Who really can you call when you're down? It's important. The third thing he says, it builds immunity to future stress. That's what we talk about. The more you go through this type of stress, it builds immunity for future stress. He gave you the story of the guy that was captured by whatever other country he said, whatever other army or whatever, and they tortured him. And so now when he's dealing with the IRS for millions of dollars for his money, it's like, well, I went through that. So for sure I can get through this. But when we're too scared to go through the real hard things, the real crushing things, the real things that grow our character, we can't handle the next one. If we couldn't handle that one, the IRS thing, we definitely couldn't handle the extreme stress thing that comes a year after that. We can't handle, and we just keep getting knocked down. My encouragement to all of us is we got to get stronger. You got to get mentally, emotionally, spiritually stronger. This is the gym. It's not about your willpower. You're just not strong enough yet. You haven't put yourself under extreme stress enough and fought through it and gotten your support system and read the books and done the work to get yourself mentally, emotionally, physically strong during this process. That's why you got to keep doing it. That's why you can't wish away the stresses. That's why you can't wish them away. The last thing I wrote down, the two last things. Identity is the strongest controlling force of your life. Your identity, how you see yourself, not how other people see you. How do you see yourself? And are you acting? Are your actions congruent with how you view yourself? Ed Mylett always gives that thermostat example. Tony Robbins just gave that thermostat example. But I want you to pay attention to it more now that you hear it again and see how it applies in your life. If your thermostat is set at 68 degrees, that is your identity for your life. That's how much money you feel like you're worth, the freedom you feel like you have, your beliefs, like your identity, what you view yourself as, consciously and unconsciously. The unconscious part is where we have to dive into. Dr. Joe Dispenza talks a lot about those things. We got to get into the unconscious things that are running. But your thermostat set at 68 degrees, consciously or unconsciously. When life cools down, you're not doing as well as you believe you deserve to be. Things are a little bit below. Finances aren't good. Relationships aren't good. Health isn't. You know you're not doing it. You find a way to heat yourself back up. You find a way. When you're 68, life gets to 60, you're like, man, this don't feel comfortable at all. I'm going to heat myself back up. I'm going to start working more. I'm going to go to the gym again. I'm going to save some money. I have 2, 3, 4 months where I really get things going. Why? So I can heat myself back up to 68. That's your identity. But now some of you, all of you, hopefully, that you're here on this call, want to take your life from the 68 degree that you're used to living to the 80 degree. You want life hotter. You want more financial freedom. You want more time freedom. You want better friends. You want better, more peace, more joy, more happiness. You want more. You want to go from 68 to 80. But consciously and unconsciously, you're still set at 68. So you might heat your life up a little bit. You might get some things going. You ever heard people say, I'm making more money than I've ever made in my life, but I'm still at the same spot. I still feel the same way. I still have the same level of happiness and fulfillment. I still have the same problems, even though I'm doing better than I ever could have been, right? Ever could have thought of. Making more money, relationship in a better place, right? You feel that. What happens when you get your life to that 80? Consciously and unconsciously, you start cooling your life back down. I don't have to work as many. I know I put in 100 hours last month, but this month, because that was a lot and I made more money than I ever made in my life, I'm going to go back down to 80 hours. I'm going to just cool it down. I can relax a little bit. Oh, I've been really good at the gym for 2 months. That's awesome. And now I can have that cheat day. I can have that meal, which turns into now I don't go back to the gym for 3 days or 4 days. We cool our life back down. We got to learn how to raise our identity so that you believe differently about yourself so you can keep your life heated up. So you can keep that level of success. So you can keep building your wealth. So you can keep getting to the place of happiness and peace and joy. You have to stay there. You have to believe that's you and not cool yourself back down to what feels comfortable, to what feels normal to you. How do we raise our identity? Tony Robbins gave you one other thing. He said, proximity is power. I've told you, how do we change? If we change our thinking, we change our life, right? I've talked to you about that. If we change our thinking, we change our life. So how do we change our thinking? We have to change what we consume. We have to change what we put in our eye gates and ear gates. If you have been watching and listening to the same exact things, you will be the same exact person. You have to change what you're putting in. Read something different, listen to something different, watch different things that oppose how you even think. For Christmas a couple years ago, I gave my mom some books from people and like subjects that are opposite of what she always reads. Opposite. Like she didn't even agree with half of the titles that I bought her. But I forced her to read them. Why? Because that's how we grow. That's how we learn. It's when not you just taking the same things over and over again from the people that you like, from the conversations you like, from the topics you like. You got to start taking in information from the opposite side, from things you know nothing about, things you might not even have interest in. That's how you start to change how you think by what you consume. The other side, you got to get around the people that are thinking the way you want to think. You have to get around the environments that you want to see yourself in. That's the other side. You have to get close to it. The reason why most people, right, grow up in inner city or in their neighborhood or whatever the case is, until they get out of their neighborhood to see what else is out there, to get close to something that's completely different so that they can open up their mind, expand their mind, see something different. They're going to think about life in the exact same way. They're going to be the same people. So my encouragement to you guys is always go out there and experience something new. Get around the people that you want to become more like. Those environments are waiting for you. But that's how you raise your identity. That's the work, ladies and gentlemen. If you ever get confused on what work you're actually doing, this is your work. You're raising your identity. You're unlearning and relearning who you are, how to be. Tony Robbins said, I created this guy that you see. I created this person. Sure, he's had some of these things in him, but he created the version of Tony Robbins that you see today. That's encouraging to me. It should be encouraging to you because now you know if one person did it, you can do it. You can create the man or woman you want to be. This is supposing that you know who you want to be, but you can create them. This is the work. We got to remember some of these things. We got to know that you got to stay ready so you don't have to get ready. You got to know that the winter is coming and you got to keep preparing. You got to keep doing your work. You got to keep getting in the books. You got to keep getting around the right people. You got to stay close to the fire. Proximity is power. This is how you change your life. Don't go back into your same environment with your same people and the same talks and the same stuff and expect a different life. Doesn't work that way, ladies and gentlemen, but just know it does work if you work. I love you guys. I want you to win. You deserve it. Your families deserve it. Nobody tells you. I'll keep telling you. You deserve to win. People are counting on you, but you got to go do the work. You got to get stronger. You got to get better. You got to grow. You got to start consuming different things. You got to get around better people, better messages. Don't let the world start to dictate where you are and what you do. You can go make a life for yourself, y'all. That's what we're here to do. I love you guys. Do something that scares you today. Push you out of your comfort zone. I'll see you back here on Wednesday. Peace. Take care.